Here we have a new 2025 Dodge Charger Daytona. Now this one is an RT Blacktop Stage 1, comes in triple nickel, and then we have black leatherette and cloth interior. We get an electric motor on each axle, giving us all-wheel drive capability, and then up to 308 miles on a full charge. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. The lights don't dance like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up, but let me just say, I absolutely love this car. I don't care what anybody says, with it being an EV, whatever. This thing is fun to drive. It looks fantastic, and I really like that you're able to get 308 miles on a charge out of something that's so freaking sick. And down here to these wheels, these are gonna be 20-inch aluminum, and I like that you get something that looks like a real wheel. It doesn't look like it only would be on an EV. It's a sick car. We get passive keyless entry. To the door panel here, power mirror controls, one-touch up and down windows, power door locks, and then this is how we open the door. If you don't have power for whatever reason, you can get out by pulling this latch. Bottle holder there, a little storage, and a very long door panel. I like this because it reminds me of the older Chargers where, you know, you had the big long doors, all this space that you had to get in and out of the vehicle. Headlamp controls are here. We get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel, and there's a look at the pedals. But here's our power driver's seat, two-way power lumbar support. And I want to give a huge thanks to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Franklin in Franklin, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I'm sitting in the back seat here, two USB-C ports. I think there's anything else back there. There's a look at the front from back here. And what's crazy is for this to be a coupe, look at the space back here. It's really spacious. I'm 6'3". I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size. And my legs are barely touching the back of the seat. And again, what makes that crazy is this is a two-door coupe. So probably, I don't know what the record is, but this might be the roomiest coupe there is. But yeah, pretty spacious back here again for this to be a two-door. And obviously, it's not the easiest to get out of, but not as terrible as some other coupes I've tried to squeeze myself in. So that's just an interesting fact there. There's your charge port. You can DC fast charge if you want to. You just gotta pull this little thing out of here. And then to the back end, you can probably hear that light rumble, which I think is really cool how they did that exhaust. I made a video just revving it up. It's hilarious, but I actually like it. It's pretty neat. LED tail lamps, and then to pop the lift gate. Then this one's manual, so you just pull up on that. Great space behind the second row, I think. Looks like we have a cargo shade as well. And then your top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves, that little hole there. But again, really spacious back here. I really like how they did that. Storage underneath here if you want to put your tire inflator kit, there you can. And for those of you that are curious about what it looks like underneath, there you have it. And that's the exhaust sound. But I just think the styling on this is phenomenal. It really is. There's our manual front passenger seat. We can move that forward and back in that latch there. We do get a lockable glove compartment here. And then, let me get to the window sticker. You all can pause me where you need to take a closer look at anything, but it's laminated, so I apologize for the glare. I think this is a decent EV for the money, especially because of how fun it is to drive, how quick it is. I have a Mustang Mach-E, and I love that car to death. But this is more fun than that is to drive, and you have a few more, you know, different ways to kind of get your money's worth out of it. Now, reliability-wise, I don't know, because I've had my Mustang Mach-E a little over 80,000 miles, and it's only been to the shop about twice. I broke the charge latch on it because it wasn't in the garage like it was supposed to be, but I just need to fix that when I get time. So I just put painter's tape on it, but whatever. Now you hit this button, and then that opens the frunk there. So just a few, I mean, there's the electric motor there, everything that's going on there, windshield washer fluid. But there's the engine bay. I think it's cool to do that because it'd be funny to pull up to a car show with people that don't know about these. And you're just like, look under the hood. And they're like, what? There are the blinkers. And I mean, you can't deny the styling of this car. It's absolutely fantastic. It looks beautiful. But I'm telling you, the way the thing drives is even better. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Now over here to the radio, I'm gonna cut this airspeed down just a tad. But we get the what we're used to from Stellantis in terms of the radio here. We get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, and then we have wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility, dual zone automatic climate controls, and here we get 3-stage heated seats and 3 stages of heat for the steering wheel as well. So we can set that as well as the temperature for the AC with a little shortcut there, or we can go into the actual climate menu, gives you that full look of what's going on. And you pretty much have soft touch buttons for everything down here below, but if you want to be in the screen, you know, it's easy to use both of them, which I really like. Nav's here, and if you want to find a charger, pretty easy to do there. And then your vehicle settings in here are actually pretty neat. You can decide if you want the creep on, you can see the power flow there. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much this means. Like, I'm so glad we have this because I don't have something like this on my Mach-E that's kind of showing me what's using what at all times. But you can schedule out the charge and the maximum battery level, all of that there. And it's just a cool system, I think. Another big plus on this car is going to be the autonomy system. So you do have that lane centering with adaptive cruise that you can use on the highway, which is great. Camera here, great picture I think for the backup camera. The guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel, and then you can also zoom in and out as well to get that perfect park. And then your language can be changed here. Units of measurement can be changed individually right in there. And then we have our different apps that we can use and whatnot. But performance pages, I always like to have this up. It's just kind of fun to see that and whatnot. And it kind of gives you a few, well, actually a lot of different things you can look at. So that's pretty, it's pretty neat. So I would like to test this out. I'm not going to, but again, this is what I love about getting a Dodge, specifically this car, that you have a timer that's built into the vehicle, and you can kind of beat your 0 to 60 or your 0 to 100 if you want to. And it's just, it's funny. Now you can cut the screen off here, push of a button, volume knob here, and I like that it's integrated, the tune knob as well. And then you also have buttons for the heated seats, the soft touch buttons up here if you don't want to do it through the actual screen. Hazards are there. And then you have your parking sensors, your lane sense here. Well, this active lane management, excuse me. And then your traction controls here. Now, something that's interesting is whenever you put this in a sport mode, and I'll come back to the wheel in a minute, but I want to touch on this because I didn't know this till today. When you go from, let's say, wet and snow to sport, it immediately just throws a traction control off. So I thought that was the only way to do sport mode, but it just does that. And then you can actually go over here, turn the traction control on, and you can still have that sport mode, so you can still rev the exhaust there, and the exhaust. And then you can still kind of have that same pull that you would get in the sport mode in terms of acceleration. 2 USB-C ports here, those connect directly to the radio. And then the shifter here, just hit the brake, pull, reverse, neutral drive. Pretty standard. And then your push button starts here, your electronic parking brake, you pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. Then you have your center console cubby space here with a 12 volt. And then there's a look at the back seat from up here. Now over here, lights, sunglasses holder. It's kind of hard to see, it's dark in here, I apologize. Garage door transmitter, nice vanity mirror. Lights are very bright there. And then back to the steering wheel, left side stock blinkers, high beams, and then we do have the intermittent wipers there, mist right there. And then these paddle shifters are for the regen. And then on this side of the steering wheel here, we can go through the gauge cluster and set all that up. We can see the tire pressure monitors, performance timers, all of that. And then we have this, we can kind of change the view of the gauge cluster, which I think is pretty neat, honestly. And then Bluetooth, voice recognition. Again, these drive modes are here, so you can hit the drive modes button and it takes you over to this screen here, and you can kind of fool with that, set up your sport, whatnot, and then you can actually go through the drive modes on the gauge cluster there. So there's probably a way that you might be able to, yeah, if I had sports set up, maybe you can fool with some of the settings in there if you want the paddles on, off, whatever. And then the power shot is here, and that's when you get that maximum boost when you're driving down the road. But adaptive cruise, turn that on here, adjust the gap, and then you have the active lane management. You can activate the active driving there, cancel, resume, set your speed. And then I'm gonna leave this view up here. And then finally, here's the key fob, which I actually really like with remote start. It's a nice looking key. But now to the fun part. Let's go ahead and take this 2025 Charger Daytona RT, and this one is a stage 1 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Charger Daytona RT Blacktop, again, I love this car. It is so much freaking fun. It's so cool, it's so neat. The only reason this has like a bad reputation is because of the stigma around EVs, which is just crazy to me. Especially for the vast majority of us that aren't driving coast to coast every day. This is the most practical you can get for a sports car. It's just 308 miles on a charge, pretty good charging infrastructure in terms of just the DC fast charge speed, and just the fun factor is 10 out of 10. Even with the stage 1, this isn't even a scat pack. I love this car. It's one of those that I feel like flop for the wrong reasons, because I think Dodge did everything right in terms of just putting the exhaust on there, making it look old school while still looking futuristic. I don't see the hate behind these cars at all. I mean, Trump's in office now, so I don't want to necessarily say we're going electric, but at the time that these were configured and thought about, the world was headed towards an electric vehicle future. And, you have to just realize that's what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. But this car really was a way for people that could afford it to get in and not be disappointed with having an EV. I mean, the punch you get coming out of a stop is unmatched. It just feels so fantastic. It feels like a Charger, it really does. And even like the interior, how it's set up, I feel like I'm in a freaking Hellcat right now, just with the shifter, how the wheels set up, the screen and everything. But again, with this Charger Daytona, you get more of an old school feel in terms of just having the big doors, the very just huge overall presence with it being a long coupe. But it's so much fun to drive. It really is. And I wish I could afford one of these, honestly. I mean, I could trade in my Mach-E, but I wouldn't. But when these depreciate like a lot of other EVs have, maybe I'll get this as a second car, because there's nothing I would change about this thing. Now, I feel like if Stellantis really wanted to sell these, they would line this up with like a Scat Pack, a Hellcat, something like that, because when you drive this thing, it's freaking insane. Like, this thing will smoke anything from a stop or even like at 20 miles an hour because it pulls like crazy. Now I'm gonna try to open it up as I get on the interstate here. It'll probably be a very quick acceleration pull because I'm probably gonna get up to 50 and I could probably get this thing up to 80 in like 2 seconds, so. Here we go. So that was 60 there. So again, it's so quick, it's so freaking fast, it's insane. Now I do want to give one more thanks to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, of Franklin for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But it's, gosh, it's just such a great car. Again, it's easy to drive. It's, I mean, it's freaking quick. It's one of those, I mean, it's really the only EV I've been in where I'm like, I really just want to take this to the drag strip and just see what it can do. You've got all of the performance pages that you'd expect from a Scat Pack, a Hellcat, something like that. But then this is also one of the most practical, fun daily drivers, being able to get 308 miles on a charge. So especially like me, if you're like me and you can just hook up a 220 at the house and be good to go, minimal traveling, you can, you know, plug in at Electrify America, something like that. It's just, it's such a awesome car. I'm so sick of this guy over here. But, yeah, it's just, it has everything that you would need. It's fast, it's fun, it's cool. I'd have to get over. But again, for the money, especially the deals that you can get on these right now, highly recommend this car. I don't care what you think about EVs. This is a phenomenal vehicle, period. It's just that great of a car. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Charger Daytona RT Blacktop.